You know, video games get blamed for all kinds of stuff. That's fine, they're still fairly new, they're scary. There's lots of guns in them. And no game gets singled out more often than Grand Theft Auto.
A 28-year-old man from Coventry in the UK was caught doing 55 miles an hour in a 30 zone not far from Warwick University. According to the Coventry Telegraph, William Whitmore was given a 4-month prison sentence, suspended for 12 months. He was ordered to undertake some rehab, was banned from driving for a year and ordered to pay £600 in costs. But he hadn't just been caught speeding. This guy apparently led police on a high-speed chase through the centre of Coventry and was only caught when he turned into a dead-end street. Police first tried to approach him when they saw his Peugeot, which had a broken taillight, making a poor turn into a street. Whitmore apparently accelerated hard to escape the police, forcing pedestrians to jump out of the way at one point during the chase. Even when police eventually cornered the guy, he tried to get away on foot. Whitmore admitted to dangerous driving and having no license or insurance.
So what the hell was this guy thinking, and why are we telling you about an actual real news story, not a pretend video game one? Why was this guy acting like this? Well, when he was interviewed, he told police that he had been hypnotized by Grand Theft Auto. Apparently, before getting into his car, the guy had been watching some football and playing Rockstar's open world sandbox game, which of course has got plenty of driving and fleeing the police in it. His lawyer said that Whitmore ordinarily wouldn't say boo to a goose, which I think is just a British saying, so you might have difficulty with that if you're American.
Boo to a goose.
The lawyer went on, the defendant is someone who is an unusual person to be in this position. He has never been in trouble before. He works and he lives with his mother and is normally a shy and nervous individual. So he blamed GTA. He said he was hypnotized by GTA. He was interviewed by police when they caught him, and that's when he said, "Sorry, I was watching some football, played some Grand Theft Auto. It was 2 a.m. and I was hypnotized." And that's why it happened. It's just, it's another in a long line of instances of Grand Theft Auto specifically getting blamed for stuff. Yeah. It was also blamed back in 2016 when an 11-year-old boy took, sorry, I shouldn't laugh. When an 11-year-old boy led police on a car chase in Canada and Ontario, and that was quite serious because he was a kid, and apparently, police said at the time that he just wanted to see what driving was like after playing Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto was also blamed, that was partly blamed, I think, for the London riots in 2011.
Yeah,
a police officer from Tottenham said this is because of Grand Theft Auto and stuff like that.
Hypnotized though. Hypnotized is like...
It's a powerful word, isn't it?
Yeah, if just the right visuals line up at the right amount of audio's getting put in your ears, you're going to go into some sort of trance. I don't get it. I really don't get where Hypnotised came from. It's a great story, but it's just confused me. Also in the news, publisher THQ Nordic has acquired Koch Media and all its subsidiaries, including the publishing division Deep Silver. It's a big old game industry merger. The acquisition means THQ Nordic now own the rights to all of Deep Silver's IPs, which include Saints Row, Dead Island, and Metro, which of course has a new sequel on the way. According to THQ Nordic, Deep Silver will not be restructured and the company will continue to operate as a separate entity with no job cuts or cost-saving measures. THQ Nordic also said there will be no interruptions in Deep Silver's publishing schedule, and ongoing projects like Metro Exodus and the next Saints Row game will carry on uninterrupted. Deep Silver acquired most of THQ's franchises back in 2013 when THQ went bankrupt and had to sell off their assets and properties. The rest of the company were bought by Sega and Nordic Games, with Sega acquiring RTS developer Relic Entertainment, whilst Nordic Games acquired the THQ name and remaining IPs like Darksiders, Red Faction and Destroy All Humans, which obviously they've done loads with since.
What was that? Cutting a little bit of commentary on the lack of activity in the Destroy All Humans IP.
Some people want another one, mate, don't they? So, do you know what I mean? I'm one of them. I'm a bit annoyed about it, so just let me vent, alright?
So good games, I like them.
In 2016, Nordic Games renamed themselves THQ Nordic, and it now appears that all of the old THQ franchises are now coming back under the THQ brand.
This is weird. So a company buys another company, but then that company bought back a lot of its assets and stuff. So a lot of things that were originally THQ games then became this other company's games, but now it's back to being THQ Nordic. Ooh. It's a mess, but it's weird. It's like two companies just biting chunks out of each other until one has just gobbled the whole lot, which has just happened. It is a pretty big merger, not because they're the biggest companies around or anything, but there's just a lot of games, right? There's a lot of different games affected.
The merger's like tripled the workforce, even though the merger, the big company absorbing the company seems smaller because it's got less IPs and stuff. Koch Media has about 1,200 staff. THQ Nordic had 400. So now their workforce is like 1,600, something like that. It's like hugely improved their team size, at least.
Well, it's interesting because there's going to be no layoffs, no rejigging, no restructuring or whatever. They're just going to keep letting them doing whatever they're doing, and I'm assuming over a course of years they'll just kind of just take charge a little bit, start making decisions of what direction they're going to go and stuff like that. It's pretty interesting. And if you're interested in any of these games, anytime there's a merger or an acquisition, it gives you some kind of hope that your old favourites like Destroy All Humans might come back. Also this week, ever since it first launched in 2015, the Windows 10 UWP DRM seemed to be uncrackable. But as with all DRM systems, this one has finally been cracked as well. Cracking group Codex revealed they had successfully broken into the UWP protection of 2017's Zoo Tycoon Ultimate Animal Collection after months of work for some reason. You're going to break into anything. Make it that, innit? Make it Zoo Tycoon Ultimate Animal Collection. We f***ing did it. Months of work. We can finally play the game.
The Ultimate Animal Collection is finally ours. That's honestly well good. Okay.
I can't wait to pirate the f*** out of that. It's clearly a joke. I'm not going to f***ing play the game.
Yeah, not even with the Ultimate Collection.
The best version of it. Now, what is interesting, according to Codex though, is that Zoo Tycoon had not one, not two, but 5 layers of DRM attached to it. They clearly wanted to protect.
I just knew what was coming. That's just right. Okay.
They clearly wanted to protect Zoo Tycoon Ultimate Animal Collection. Codex discovered games bought from the Windows 10 store used the DRM systems MS Store, UWP, eAppX, XB Live, and Arxan. However, it is unknown if these 5 layers of DRM had any impact on performance, unlike Assassin's Creed Origins, which had 2 layers of DRM, which supposedly impacted performance quite significantly. It's also worth mentioning that now that Microsoft's DRM has been cracked, pretty much all forms of DRM available have been busted wide open.
Elsewhere, a poster on the Steam community forums said Marvel Vs Capcom Infinite will be shut down and pulled from sale in October 2018. The poster said their sources in the industry told them Marvel Vs Capcom would be removed from Steam, PSN and Xbox Live stores in October because of the disappointing sales and reception it received. According to the poster, Capcom plan on releasing 3 more DLC characters for the game, but contractors have been ordered to stop development on these characters, which are supposedly already halfway through production. The poster also said the game wasn't as polished as previous Marvel vs Capcom games because the development team at Capcom lacked the resources and talent to polish the final product. The fate of Marvel vs Capcom Infinite has been up in the air for a while now, and many suspected it had been abandoned after it was revealed it would not be a playable game at the 2018 EVO Fighting Game Tournament. According to the poster, it was Marvel that decided to pull support from the game rather than Capcom.
Yeah, this has just been in a negative spiral for quite a while now. You just Google search the name of the game, which we would have done before. Coming in here just for a bit of research, there's a lot of negativity. There's just a lot of negative headlines, a lot of like, oh, it's been pulled from this, it's not happening here, players are worried about the game's been abandoned. It's a damn shame when that happens to a game, and the fact that they're already pulling the plug on it, at least they might well do by the end of this year, pretty damning considering it's just come out basically.
And it's Capcom, a huge company with loads of resources, so you'd expect them to just keep pushing through. They've been working on games like Resident Evil 7 and Monster Hunter in 2017. I find it quite surprising that Capcom would pull the plug on this so soon. I mean, it's not like it's a small, struggling company. This is a company responsible for Monster Hunter, which is one of the highest and fastest selling games we've seen in years. They did Resident Evil 7 last year. They've been making big moves. This game hasn't even been out for years and years. They just pulled the plug on it, like almost immediately, it feels, because it's been pulled from a couple of fighting game tournaments, and they're just like, nah, if it's not going to make it into them, we're f***ing out of here. But the pressure from Marvel could also be a big factor. Well, Marvel don't want to sit around, and they're a bit funny with the licenses. I know in the past they've been pulling down entire libraries of games that had expired licenses and things like that. Obviously, Marvel's owned by Disney, so it's probably something to do with image and things like that, and I don't think, they will be so happy associating themselves with what is considered failure.
How are you going to make a Marvel game fail in 2018, like the year of the Avengers and flipping
Black Panther?
You've had years and years and years of Marvel hype.
No excuse.
If you can't make it work in 2018, you can't make it work at all, I guess. That's it. We normally end on a funny story, but not today. So that's your Sunday news roundup for this week. Are you going to pirate Zoo Tycoon Ultimate Animal Collection now that it's been cracked finally? Let us know down in the comments. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed it. Please do subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this every single day. There's another video right there which you can watch right now if you want, and a link to Patreon if you want to support the channel. Don't pirate games. See you next time.